1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move.
Hey, what's good out there? Y'all definitely be sure to like and hit that notification so I'll pop right back up like I'm on a parole violation. Now, if you're new to my page, in 1994, I was arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me right there gassing on that intro, man. And if you want to get that song, both versions are available on a 10-song EP, and you can purchase it directly from me by digital download. Hit me up on my email at 16tolifemusic@gmail.com or send me a DM on Instagram at 16tolife, 16DALIFE, all one word. Cash App or Zelle me $20 and I will get it to you ASAP. And if you prefer, you still can get it on a CD. Also, be sure to check me out on all streaming sites. I have a song off that EP called Rather Be a Square by 16 to Life. It's gas, man. So let's hop right up into this video. So today, we talking about something, in my opinion, that's gonna surprise nobody. Charleston White is a snitch. And you will very rarely see me come on here and proclaim someone to be a snitch, especially in this day and age with all the fake paperwork that's being produced, people creating narratives about somebody. But in this case right here, it's 100% true. So yeah, I'm gonna say it. And I don't think it surprises anyone, because for the longest, Charleston White has made no qualms. He has not tried to hide it, that he will definitely snitch, tell the police. You can just type in Charleston White calls the police and several videos will pop up of him calling the police on individuals, snitching, sending this person to jail, sending that person to jail. And in my opinion, that's one of the main reasons that he has survived so long, doing the things that he's doing, because people know that he definitely will call the police, and you have a lot of individuals who definitely don't want that problem. I was always taught that it's two things you're supposed to do to a snitch. I think we all know the first one, and if you're not going to do the first one, the second thing is then 100% leave him alone. Let me show you a video right here where Charleston White has no problems calling the police on somebody.
Say, y'all might want to share this one. I told y'all might want to share this one. I told y'all when I put a nigga ass in jail, y'all gonna know. Didn't I tell y'all that? I told y'all when I put a nigga's ass in jail, hey, get on up here. I'm finna roll up a blunt. I'm on my way to the liquor store. We have an Atlanta rapper have now just been arrested for making online threats to Charleston White.
And in Charleston White's mind, it's all fun and it's all games. You know, I see Charleston White for what he is. You know, he's a big clown. A lot of people let Charleston White's antics get them extremely upset. And to me, it doesn't get me upset, right? Because I see him for who he is. Now, when he does go and say disrespectful things about people who are deceased, and especially the 5-year-old girl the other day, I wonder what makes him do things like that. But outside of that, I honestly find a lot of the things that he does humorous, because I see him in the context of the person that he is. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't find a lot of the things that he's doing funny, like snitching and sending people to jail, but in the way that he's doing it, yes, the dude is a funny individual, man. He definitely doesn't have a filter. A lot of the times. And he's a natural funny dude, man. He reminds me just of individuals that I grew up with, you know, out in the streets, just laughing, cracking, telling jokes on people. And like I said, a lot of times I do find that humorous. Now, this latest video that has surfaced of him telling on some individuals who he was involved in some type of crime with is once again no secret to me. You know, there was a while when I used to kick it and hang out with Melvin Farmer, probably 2 or 3 times a week. Now, for those of you guys who may not be familiar with who Melvin Farmer is one of the original founders of the A-Tray Gangsta Crips. Some type of way Charleston White had contacted Melvin Farmer, who was known as Skull in the streets, and said he was curious about the LA gangbanging culture. And so in some type of way they met up. Melvin Farmer went and introduced Charleston White to a whole lot of people that Melvin Farmer knew in the streets. He also took Melvin Farmer to the funeral of Nipsey Hussle, right? And then later on, once Charleston White left LA, he started saying extremely disrespectful things about Nipsey Hussle, the LA Crip, the LA Blood culture, and so on and so forth. And so, like I mentioned earlier, there was a time when me and Melvin Farmer would hang out 3 or 4 times a week, and this was during the time that Charleston White was saying those extremely disrespectful things about Nipsey Hussle, LA, so on and so forth. And so Melvin had a lot of information pertaining to this particular situation right here. I believe he was in contact with one of the individuals that Charleston White had told on, and according to Melvin, Charleston White would repeatedly come to this man's parole hearing, the individual who was still locked up, in an attempt to keep him in prison. And like I said earlier, Charleston White never tried to hide his willingness, his propensity, or his enjoyment of calling law enforcement on those who he would get into beefs with. Sometimes he would try to goat people into certain type of beefs, and then he'd try to find a reason if they was doing something illegal to tell on him. So in that vein, he definitely was a dangerous individual, right? So now let me show you a portion of an interview he did on the YouTube channel Say Cheese, where he's talking about telling on other individuals.
So is that ratting by you calling the?
You say that what?
Is that snitching?
Nigga, if it is, I hope it is. I want to snitch. I want to snitch. I want to tell. Whatever they call telling, snitching, I want to do it, and I want to make it cool to do it. It's my honest belief. I recommend snitching. I don't recommend doing 20 years for nobody. I don't recommend doing a life sentence for nobody.
Now, let me show you the latest video that has resurfaced of him hopping on the stand. I believe it was somewhere in the 90s, telling on some co-defendants of his when an incident happened that led to a man losing his life.
I handed him the gun out the backseat of the car.
16-year-old Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Antoine Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
He pulled off the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired it.
Doolittle is accused of gunning down 34-year-old Michael Levy of Irving. Levy attempted to stop Doolittle, White, and 2 other teenagers accused of shoplifting 3 sports jackets and a baseball cap from an Arlington mall in September of 1991. Witnesses say Levy pounded on their windshield until the teens threw the jackets out the car window. Then Doolittle supposedly shot him in the back as Levy walked away. White repeated the conversation he says he had with Doolittle after the shooting.
He said, "Look, you shot him."
And what did he do?
Started laughing.
Levy had been married only 4 days when he was shot. White will be testifying against all 3 of his buddies in exchange for a maximum sentence of 12 years. A juvenile judge reduced the charge from capital murder to murder against Doolittle, so the teenager faces from 5 years to life in prison if he's found guilty.
Now let me show you another portion from the exact same interview of Charleston White's definition between a person who's telling and a person who's a snitch.
But look, let me keep it real. On the internet, you always say that, where's the paperwork? I'm not a rat. I'm not a snitch.
I'm not breaking the law. I'm not trying to get out of no trouble. That's what a snitch do. A snitch is telling to wiggle out of something. I'm just telling. No rewards, no nothing. I just want to put a nigga ass in jail, nigga.
Now, basically, you heard him say that a snitch is a person who has been caught up in a criminal investigation and he is cooperating to try to free himself and get himself basically lesser time. Well, of course, now that video that we see of him testifying against his friends, that's exactly what Charleston White is trying to do. But at the end of the day, I definitely don't believe this video hurts Charleston White, because once again, Charleston White has no problems with being a snitch, telling on people, and actually he believes it's something that needs to be done. And so, you know, at the end of the day, it's not gonna hurt him whatsoever, because people love to be entertained, and it is what it is, you know. Actually, what troubles me more is I see a lot of dudes on YouTube, man, who are hypocrites. A lot of dudes who will go on YouTube and call people out for snitching, talk bad about them, when they have pretty much the same information floating around on YouTube about themselves. Or some of these individuals are not who they claim to be, whether they're bloggers or former prisoners with a quote unquote / prison show, you know. So, and the thing is that the information has been put out there, and you still have a lot of individuals who will tune in to these dudes' channels and watch their channel, right? I guess with the intention of being entertained, you know. And they got them from the East Coast to the West Coast. It's black, white, and Mexican, right? And, you know, some of their viewers may know about the allegations. Some of their viewers may not know about the allegations, right? But in my mind, it takes a special type of dude to know that you have done the exact same thing, then make a video denouncing somebody for doing what you've done, and you just believe that your actions in the past are hidden, and so it's okay to call this dude out, man. Anyway, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.